Hey gang, this is My Favorite Drummers Part 2. And it's a happy day because I'm talking about a drummer that I've always admired most of all, because this goes way back when I was a real young kid, maybe 10 or 12. And yeah, probably about 12. I never really listened to music much, but when I started listening to music, Pearl Jam was one of the first rock bands that caught my attention. And at that time, they were actually working on their second album, Versus. Dave Cruzen was Pearl Jam's first drummer. Dave Cruzen was the very first drummer. And I believe when he came on, he didn't last for long. I mean, he was in and then right back out. Dave Cruzen span goes very short, and I don't think many people know about Dave Cruzen. Then Matt Chamberlain came in, and Matt Chamberlain basically wrote the set the grounds for the debut album 10. He did the drumming for 10. And then just before the tour, he ended up parting the band. I believe he just couldn't tour. It wasn't something that he could do. So then Dave Abbruzzese comes on the scene, which is really cool at this time because now they're on the tour for their debut album 10. But this is kind of a fresh thing for Dave because he's coming into a band and the groundwork was already kind of laid out for him. So that's really cool. I think that's really cool because he's got some instruction and something to do. He's got to do something a certain way. But he can also, add some of his flavor, which he sure did. He was a very busy player. I would call him the Splash King, man. I loved the way his cymbal work was, he didn't just hit cymbals. He hit them with intent. And he knew how to play his cymbals. And he played them a lot. A real lot. And even when I listened to that, it still never caught on to me about the cymbals and how much the cymbals really come into your drumming. It's not just playing the drums. You can play the cymbals just as much as you're playing the drums. And that really fills in a lot of void. So when it comes to playing the drums, he's constantly playing the cymbals. He's playing the cymbals the way they should be played. And I really, really love cymbals when it comes to drumming. When you play your cymbals right, it really makes an impact. I think so anyway. I've kind of evolved more to play more cymbals. Not so much of a tom guy, though I do like a nice tom roll, Anyway, Dave is my hero. He just looked cool, man. He had long hair. If you've ever seen him on MTV's, or was it VH1? the Unplugged, when they did their performance, which was complete epic. I mean, it was an epic performance, just as good as Nirvana's performance. It he just looked really cool doing his thing, man. And I remember that he had two splashes right over his hi-hat, and you would see him hit him, and it just, I don't know, man. I noticed little things like that. Anyway, he played on a small kit. He had a 12-inch snare. Really, really cool. A pretty deep 12-inch snare. And I believe he had a 10-inch tom, and then 14 and 16-inch floor tom. So his drums were generally smaller than most who were playing bigger shells. He played on some smaller drums, and that was kind of neat because his snare drum had a really good sound, a really high pop. I've always noticed that. His snare really had a high pop. It always stuck out to me that the way his snare drum sounded and the way he played his splashes. There was, I guess, a falling out in the band. I don't know where. I don't know. It's kind of unclear what happened. It was part, I think, Eddie and him kind of something about he knocked down a guitar, one of Eddie's guitars, and I don't know. He didn't tell him about it, or just the his personality. He was a little different than the rest of the band, or they didn't really see eye to eye because he was kind of a busy player. Eddie and the band, they kind of wanted to be a little more simple. For whatever reason, they decided to find a different drummer. On the scene comes Jack Irons. Jack Irons happened to be Eddie's best friend, and he was the one who actually gave Eddie a tape and said, "Hey, man, this band from Seattle is looking to find a singer. You should go audition." And he gave him a tape, and he did. He went and auditioned, and it worked out, man. It worked out for him, and his life took off. Went from pumping gas to really living a meaningful life. And I remember Jack Irons. I personally listened to No Code a lot when I was in high school. I listened to No Code a lot. And it's funny because I didn't realize that Jack Irons was so close to Eddie, and that's how he got in the band in the first place. Fast forwarding, Matt Cameron. Hey, man, he's been in the band the longest. And it always seems that Pearl Jam found the right drummer when they needed it. Dave Abbruzzese, really, really a cool guy, man. I'd love to hang out with him. I'd have a beer with Dave any day. He's still active. I still see him on YouTube. They did a pretty good interview with him online. I think he was eating dinner and answering questions. And it was very interesting because he revealed so much about his history with the band and everything. It really answered a lot of questions. So the internet is just wonderful. We can have all of our questions answered that we've had about anything, really. So yeah, Dave Abbruzzese, I'm going to give him number 2. Next time, we're going to move on to number 3. And stay tuned, gang. I got another video coming up today. I'm going to do the Pearl Export ELX. I'm going to show it in its beauty. I've got it all set up. So we're going to get to that. And we'll do some more of my favorite drummers. I don't really have any more gear to show. One day I may do a very quick video and show my gigging rig when I get it all set up on stage. If I can sneak in a few minutes, I might just show it all. I got it racked on one rack, one horizontal rack, holds 5 cymbals, and it's just so clean. I'm not going to talk about it now, but if I get a chance the next time we're gigging to do a quick little video on that, I'll sneak one in to show you guys that setup. Thanks for watching. I love everybody. I think I'm almost up to 600 subscribers. It climbs slowly, you know. Maybe in 3 years from now I'll have 1,000. Hey, there's something good about not going viral too. I can get away with a lot more here, you know. Once you go viral, I don't know. We don't really want to go viral. But if you find my channel interesting, share it to some other people and maybe we can get a few more subscribers going. Hey, thanks, gang. I'll get that Pearl Export video up as soon as I can. We'll find you in another video.